Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as God-woken. The fate of this God-forsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least, on the shoulders of one of them.
A light sea breeze kisses your cheek and carries away the smell of blood wafting up from the deck. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
Don't stand between a prince and his principles. The Magisters learned that the hard way.
What were they thinking, standing against an Eternal? I almost pity the poor, ignorant beasts.
I'll be damned if I ever set foot on that island again. Don't care who I have to bury. Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the better. Perhaps the Seekers need help manning the ship. So close to escaping.
Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us. It's hewn from elven livewood. I thought I could communicate with it, but...
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned. Like he was made of parchment. Nothing. The ship is livewood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Thank you. We were held captive together, on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead. Just remember what I said, Godwoken. If you die, then this was all for nothing. Sendelius, pray to you for my Seeker brethren. Show us the path.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. There's an odd mark on the side of the figurehead. Battle damage, weather staining. It almost looks like a pattern hole. Searing pain races up your arm. The ship senses you. It's angry. The pain in your arm subsides to a dull tingle. The skin on your hand is already blistering.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's-his-face and so-and-so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those God-woken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, God-woken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Very glad indeed.
Too many.
One too few, actually. Alexander, he's alive. Apparently, you didn't hit hard enough.
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Yes, we certainly had better, but the ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue. Quite expedient, isn't it? Dallas seems to have made a ship out of an ancestor tree, then found a way to bind the spirit within to her alone. That means only she can control it, unless we can find a way to break the bond. Go ahead and try. Maybe a pure breed will have better luck than I did. But whatever you do, hurry it up. The longer we sit here, the higher the chance the Order will get their hands on you.
We won't let that happen.
Yes, yes, and all that.
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the ship from bow to rudder. It hasn't been easy. This place is laced with dark magic.
These Seekers have such a limited skill set.
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but I do. And I hope you do too.
I'm sure the God-woken will be able to get the ship moving. They kind of like to feel useful, don't they?
Trickery to the hammer used to control this thing.
It's your best that'll save us all.
You made it, God-woken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, God-woken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siever's there too. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. I won't let the Fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others. Other God-woken. When Lucian died, we waited, and waited some more. Alexander never rose to divinity. Then we started to find more like him. We weren't the only ones who noticed either. Not every God-woken we found was alive. And so the Seekers were born. We found God-woken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. She's not. Well, not in the strictest sense. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siva came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Our survival hinges on getting this ship moving, Godwoken. We're searching every corner of it for anything that might help us.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey together, wouldn't you say? Off we go, then.
There you are. I was just thinking of you. This is Dallas's ship, but she can't have been the only one who could get it moving. It'd be too risky. And Dallas is anything but careless. There's a way to move this ship on board, I'm sure of it. You'd be surprised. A ship like this holds many secrets. Hopefully you can discover some these seekers might have missed. The figurehead has certainly caused a commotion lately. But then again, so have the doors downstairs. Everywhere you look, a hunk of wood looking to incinerate or stymie you. Dying to hear them, pure breed. Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause, and her cause happens to be you. She's desperate to meet a living Godwoken. She'll be exceedingly pleased we're en route. We'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular. She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. That means something when I say it. Your kind can reach astounding heights. Meister Siva can help you do just that. A place called Driftwood hosts a putrid fish, putrid dwarves, and Meister Siva herself. You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
Good to feel the rolling of the waves. I might actually get a good night's sleep.
I must say, you may not be an Eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. You handled yourself well. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. Livewood? You have taken a dead elf and carved it into a pleasure yacht? I knew you people were barbarians. I had no idea you were sadists, too. Well, no matter. Whatever gets me to Reaper's Coast quickly. I have an excavation site to explore. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. They simply asked me what I was doing there. and I simply told them to be gone from my lands. I may have used the phrase pathetic mortals. Come to think of it, I may have used it several times. Damn fools. The faster we leave them behind, the happier I shall be. Well, you see, I have a rather pressing engagement at the Black...
The skeleton breaks off mid-sentence as he notices your hand. He pulls out a notebook, flicking through it, running a finger down the pages.
Physical contact, voice lowered, coy looks. Good heavens. Is this a mating ritual? Why, that would be excellent! I have been curious about this for some time. The social interactions, the expectations, the mechanics. Come now, let's begin immediately. I shall compile my notes afterwards.
Fane grabs your hand and enthusiastically pulls you behind the screen.
Well, that was most unusual. I mean, I had read all the leading authorities on it, but I didn't think... It's just... that thing you did with your tongue, it was quite unexpected. It was. I mean, it was. Of course it was. It's just that well, I felt nothing. Neither the warmth of your touch nor the fire of your passion. I may as well have been shucking an oyster. Really? Even the part where you... My goodness.
The skeleton pulls a notebook from his robes and starts scribbling. You can hear him muttering something about highly unorthodox, lack of sensation, and coccyx. You ponder his words as you pick up the last of your belongings. You're almost sure that's what he said.
A team? What an interesting prospect. You certainly seem capable in Fort Joy, and a companion on Reaper's Coast could be quite educational. Very well. I am open to this. I believe you normally spit on your palms to seal agreements, but I seem to lack the fluid and the desire to touch you. I hope a hearty verbal agreement will suffice. Very well. Let's be off.
Allies for hire.
There's got to be some clue. Dallas would have trusted someone with a secret, wouldn't she? Unless there's someone still inside.
Hey! You're here! Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade. There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe you can see something we can't.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice it's unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood, tortured and tormented. A six-sided indentation is carved on its forehead, as if a gem or amulet had made a mark there. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears, then vanishes. The door remains closed.
I've spotted something.
I can provide.
I ought to chain you up like your lot did to me.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence
Hey,
vessel.
don't I know you from somewhere? So, we've got quite the task on our hands, haven't we? I have to admit, the whole thing is very intriguing. The old band back together again, hmm? I guess that depends, doesn't it? Look at me. Hard. What do you see?
Lohse leans back slightly, thin arms crossed in front of her chest, and stares at you defiantly from dark eye sockets, darker and deeper set than when you first met. She blows back a lock of white hair, matted with sweat and grime, and holds back a smile from the corners of her lips.
Can't you say anything else?
But I'm not the same, am I? Your god wants me dead. My god? Devil? Who knows? It wants me. It's getting stronger and I need to outpace it. I want to make sure you understand, well, the risks. You don't get it. I'm dangerous. You have to pay attention. You have to be willing to hurt me if I'm hurting you or someone else. Can you do that? Do I ever? Still sore from that one. At the time, I wanted you to defend me. I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I know better now. Something like that happens again, you do what needs to be done. Deal? Either you'll do it or you won't. You have to choose. Well, all right then.
She pinches your cheek, a sparkle in her dim grey eye.
I knew I could count on you to murder me in a pinch. Let's go, Chief.